Hello, so I'll be talking to you about my project, telling you what I did, what I accomplished, what's interesting, challenges I faced. I'll start off by talking to you about what it is actually. So it's Steam's top 100 most played games. I had the most trouble actually right here getting Steam's free logo. It was a bit hard to find. I decided to leave this bar over here for you to play with what color you want it to be. I know that I love red, so I have it set as red, but I leave it for you to change if you want to, because I know red can hurt some people's eyes. Start off by talking to you about who the real player is, who I'm gauging in this data set as a actual player. It's people that have played a lot and left a lot of reviews and mostly played 100+ hours. Is what this data set has as players. So this chart right here that I did shows you the most played games since release. And you see that it's this one. Ironically, it's a game I've never heard of. I've been a player all my life. I'm a gamer basically, and I do know that Dota 2 has a massive fan base. As you see, just the reviews alone is like almost a million. It's 1.5 million, more than almost more. Well, actually more. Just to tell you how big these games are, this one doubles them over. But then again, some people could have played this game a lot, but not left as many reviews. However, I do believe that most engaged players leave a lot of reviews, but it could have been different. They could have had other incentives for leaving reviews, so let's not just be very convinced that this is the most popular game, or the most played game for that case, because you never know. It's a data set. This chart shows you all the games, the 100 games, when they were released, and how many players there are currently. So very easy on the eyes, so you could just tell. I take you over here to something super interesting that I did, and when I was querying to make this table, I found out is that the total number of players averages the players, which is very interesting for like all the games, and I don't exactly really know why, but I do know that this data set shows you it's broken down by review sentiment, the game and the review sentiment, so you get to learn which games are most played right now and whether the review sentiment matches real player behavior. Very often it doesn't. Which games have strong engagement even with mixed reviews, and you also have outliers where players love the game despite the reviews, or vice versa, which I find super interesting. I'm a massive fan of a very new game. It's an alpha game called Ashes. It's an MMO that's going to be released. It has super negative reviews everywhere, but the game, the player base is incredibly engaged and a lot of people are in it. So that just proves my analysis. Now for some fresh air, I take you to look at the weather. This was really hard to do because I didn't know how to do it at first. I later on figured out how to do it, and I'm taking this data set, the weather data, I'm grouping it by the next 7 days, and this image over here actually uses this next 7 array that tells you about the next 7 days weather. You have it over here. It's very cool to look at and very easy to understand, in my opinion. So tonight we have about 81% of rain and the current temperature. And this is me, my portfolio. I did an HTML. It was very interesting to do. There's a lot of code, but it's not as hard as it looks actually. I did this that I found fun. When I was doing my portfolio, I added data as one of the languages that I speak, which I think is very hip. It's very new. People do this because they're very engaged in learning about data and doing data stuff. And I think Observable lets you experience that very easily. This is something we did in class that I just imported over here. I thought it's super cool, and I have it here. And it'll decode for you, Markdown. Just says thank you because I'm thanking you for being here. And ironically, this was the most challenging thing for me to do. Basically just importing a second image was just harder to do because I know that thepixels.com has like free images, and so I just downloaded a few and I was experimenting with them. Though it was really hard for Markdown to use something that's on my device. So instead I had to import something off the internet, which I don't really want to do because you never know how long the image will be alive for, and it could just break in my page after it no longer stays free or is no longer alive.